Sometimes I feel so weak. Hey gentlemen, Jeff here with Great Men Move Mountains. Got an email from a prospective client today. He's actually going to start up with me. Let's start with this question that he asked me, something that he mentioned to me, which was, I feel undervalued and taken for granted as far as his time with the kids, his involvement in the relationship, and he feels that sex is being given to him because it's like pity sex, and she just wants to take care of him. And she's saying things like, oh, I know you have needs, so let me just make you come. And yeah, it's okay if you come fast. Like, just finish. Just go ahead and finish, or I'll just take care of you. And I mean, God, even just saying that, right? There's no intimacy between the two of them. There's just this physical act. It's been relegated to, hey, I just want to make you come and, kind of pay you for your services almost. And he says, to me, it feels like that I'm undervalued and take it for granted. After sex, I feel better for a minute because I crave the contact with her, but still, afterwards, I understand that's all that it was. Payment for my services. And he says, payment for my services with the kids. I talked with her about no more sexual or intimate contact for now, but after a couple of days, she rolled over and initiated some kissing. I didn't stop it because I felt I needed it. Man, sometimes I feel so weak. It repulses me that I let myself do this. I don't know if she's currently sleeping with anyone else, but that thought is always on my mind. So we spoke about in our first call about this, that he feels like sex is just this physical act, almost this payment that he's receiving. And of course, that makes him feel like shit. I mean, I don't know about you. I'm not a one night stand, just get off kind of person. I want to have depth and intimacy and connection and respect and compassion and growth within my relationship. And I certainly don't want her to just be getting me off because it's payment for something, or she's just trying to placate me, right? I certainly wouldn't fucking want that. So we talked about, hey, maybe take physicality off the table. He tried that with her. She agreed at the place they're in their relationship. And then she initiates with him, starts kissing him. And he was thinking, oh, this is great. I feel this passion between us again. It feels like she really wants to be with me. They go upstairs and she's like, let me just make you come. I know you have needs. Let me just make you come. Feels great in the moment, but feels like shit afterwards. Yeah, the drug feels good in the moment, but we know it's not a good idea long term. We know it's unhealthy. And in this case, it's not the intimacy that he wants. One of his values that he's realizing that he wants is that intimacy and depth within a relationship. And just allowing her, let's say, to continue to violate that boundary of his, to not have intimacy within their sex and physicality, that violates a value of his, that violates a boundary of his. He doesn't want to just be taken care of. So in relationship, when we're not receiving something that we want, if we are being used, if we are just being taken care of in this way, well, why doesn't that feel good? And it's because it's reinforcing this belief, this unhealthy belief down deep inside of us that we're not enough. Am I not enough for her to want connection with me? Am I not enough to ask for the intimacy and the depth between the two of us? And why am I not strong enough to take this off of the table right now? Well, he doesn't understand his value as a man just yet. He's been the frog that's been slowly boiled in the water of relationship up to this point, in that his unspoken boundaries, his unknown values, his unknown to himself, have been violated more and more and more over time. And now he's in this place of just getting to come, right? Now, shit, some guys would think, wow, that sounds great. Like, all she does is want to get me off. Okay, well, I mean, you could get that from a prostitute. You could get that from a one-night stand, and maybe that feels good for a while, but is that ultimately the kind of relationship that you want to have? Is she just gets you off because she feels bad, or she just gets you off and she's not excited about intimacy and sex? She doesn't want growth within the relationship and connection. That third entity, the relationship between the two of you, is not being sustained in that way. The relationship is like a complete third entity. It's like a baby, it's like a child, it's like a business. It's a living, breathing thing between the two of you. And just feeding it scraps, if you will, or if you had a child, you wouldn't just feed it food and never give it love or attention or show that you care. I mean, yeah, I'm feeding you. What do you want? That's all I have to do is put a roof over your head and feed you. Well, the child won't thrive in that way. And just like that, the intimacy, the connection, the relationship between the two of you won't thrive in that instance either. It's time to decide, I'm worth standing up for the intimacy between the two of us. Yes, you can stand up for it in a calm way, in a compassionate way, but if you're not growing that intimacy between the two of you, if it's being abused in some type of way, it's your responsibility as a person and as a man to stand up for that. Yes, in a calm way, of course. You don't have to be accusatory or get angry at her or anything like that, but you must speak up. You must say something. So what did I recommend that he do? What's something actionable here, Jeff? Like, okay, that sounds good, but well, what do I do? I recommended the next time that she starts to kiss him and they initiate some kind of physicality to say, hey, there's something that I want to tell you. I've decided that for myself, I'm taking my orgasm off of the table. For the intimacy between the two of us, I don't want to worry about me coming any longer. I want to have fun. I want us to touch each other. I want to touch you. If you feel like you want to come, great. Which, by the way, she hasn't been coming. If you want to come, great. If we just touch each other, fantastic. If I just have you rub my back for 15 minutes, that would be amazing. But I want to grow the connection between the two of us. I want to grow our life together, and I want to grow the passion between the two of us. And so to help do that, I'm taking my orgasm off the table for a month. I want to touch you like this and show her how you want to touch her. I want you to touch me like this. Take her hand and put it on your chest. I'd love for us to just play and have fun and not be worried about me orgasming. I'm going to take that off the table for a month. That's what he's going to do. That's what he's going to try. Now, if she gets mad about that, if she gets upset about you stating a healthy boundary for yourself or a healthy want to grow the intimacy and connection between the two of you, and she gets mad, that's not a good sign. It's not a good sign of her respect for you. Or you have to think, why was she doing this in the first place? Or why does she not want to grow the intimacy and the connection between the two of us? And that's a discussion for another time. Okay, all right, gentlemen. If you find that, post on the forum, talk to your friend that you can trust, journal to yourself, email your coach like he's going to do for me. You don't need to make a fight out of it. You don't need to pout like a little boy. You don't need to try to dig into what she's feeling underneath that. Just state a boundary. Ask her to join you in growing intimacy together. And if she acts really badly to that, tell her, thank you for sharing what you have. I'm going to think about that. I'm going to go away. I'm going to think about that. And we'll continue this conversation this weekend, or we'll continue this conversation tomorrow. I'd love to talk with you more about that. But for now, I'm going to go away, take space, and think about that for myself. Because you don't want to fall into, I crave contact, but then I understand that it was pity payment for services rendered. I don't want that kind of relationship, and I don't think you do either.
I'ma tell you about a woman whose heart is sunshine, whose body burned hot. I'ma tell you about a woman who's cold as tundra, with some frozen eyes. I can tell by the way she moves that she cares, and it's lovely too. I'ma tell you about a story of a broken man, how it began.